Hey folks, it's Brian. We played Elderath last night, and so I was getting ready to upload the videos for my session review, and I saw on my channel I've got Elderath Session 90, but we did 92 last night, so I'm going, where's 91? So I pull up, yeah, I've got my notes for 91, and then I realized that was the session that I didn't have a recording, a live play recording for, because my screen capture software I was using had a update, and in order for the current version to work I had to purchase the update, and I'm going, I'm not ready for this right now, hold on. So I've actually been experimenting with another screen capture. It's actually free. So the live play for 92, which I'll do next, I'll upload next, is done with that other software. If you got any feedback, let me know. Okay, so 91. Ashing Bay, the cliff. The cliff face is cut away like a giant ice cream scoop. I personally think it was a gigantic sphere of annihilation. The Ashing Tower is there at the top. There's a river coming by that there's a waterfall into the bay. The lower halls in the tower have this elvish feature to them, but the very last door is a big heavy wooden door with an iron lock. We go through. The floor is this highly polished black stone surface. There is a golden ribbon or thread winding randomly throughout that ends on a gold disc. Since this is the 9th month, which is called Tal, the 9th day, which is called Tal, which is the day of service, prayers, and meditation, Wes volunteers to go first, since he mentioned he's done something like this before when he was Dylan on Halkatane. And so Wes invokes, he does some meditation for a modifier kind of thing. There's also something about the year, right? Yeah. This year is Tarsaris, which is the year of the star, which is truth. So he's trying to invoke all this stuff to help him get through this thing. So we all get together. Okay, where is it we want to end up at once we get done with walking the path, right? So our intent is to end up on the flying ship, the far horizon, on Elderath 1. So we start rolling dice. And Wes does a 53 to 65, and Ot 4, but then 93 takes 4 points of damage. And Ot 2 does a 32, does a 45, takes 2 more points of damage. Rolls a 30, takes another point of damage. Rolls a 68, gets 3 more points of damage. Rolls an Ot 7, and 85 takes 2 more points of damage. And at 39, he gets the disc. And he's given sort of an option of I can either stay here or I can go on. And he goes on. After I did that, I started thinking, maybe I should have stayed so if somebody gets close to the end and doesn't quite make it, I can drag them through. That happened when we were on Halkatane. Alright, Halmar goes through, and Runt goes through, and then Raymond. Raymond not only, actually also Runt. Runt started taking con damage. In fact, so did Halmar. Everyone took some physical damage, and some people took constitution damage before they got through. Okay, so when we actually step onto the thread, we step out into this darkness, and we get this feeling we have done this before, many, many times before. And the path is actually a straight line into the mist. After we went through it all, we ended up getting 2 power gain rolls, and we are, in fact, on board the flying ship. Wes and Runt also gain an insight into the nature of reality from walking this thread thing. Okay, so Wes and Raymond are in the captain's cabin because Raymond wanted to get there for the not to get the drugs, but to make sure the drugs were safe from Runt. And Wes went there for the weapons locker. Weapons locker is empty. The drug locker is empty. On deck is Hjalmar, and we hear some shouting on board. So Wes runs to the deck, drawing his rapier. He gets up there. Krim and company and the crew are here on the deck. Now Wes does notice a difference in the crew. Someone is on this crew that was not on the crew in Elderath 3, where we left. So that's a hint that we are around the right place. Right. And the ship is doing the hydroplane thing. And so Wes kind of goes up to Krim and says, when was the last time you saw me? Krim says, 3-4 days ago. So we're trying to figure out this time differential, right? And it turns out that the time that we spent on Elderath 3 is the same amount of time that's gone by on Elderath 1. Okay. Time is a constant at this point in this place. Runt appeared in the control room. He gets access to the computer. It recognizes him, grants him access. So we start thinking, okay, the flying ship must have trans-atmospheric movement. So we figure it's got to be able to be airtight, closed to be airtight. So we spent a couple days trying to figure stuff out to see if there's some kind of how do we close this thing up, make it airtight. And he finds an atmospheric field that keeps an atmospheric bubble around the ship. And this kind of thing is far beyond our Far Horizons characters' technology knowledge. 3 more days to get to Telgar. Runt and Raymond, neither Runt nor Raymond want to be recognized in Telgar. So Wes and Krim, once the ship docks, goes down. We order a couple of carriages. Everybody gets in the carriages, and we head off to Hamlet, pretending like nothing ever happened. So it's 4 days of Hamlet. Along the way, Krim kind of misses that, Wes, you seem different. So Wes tells her, hey, we walked this path thing, and when you walk paths and you go places, you are affected by them. She should have probably gotten a roll for that, but I didn't think about it at the time. Okay. We get to Hamlet, and we go through the gate to the undersea temple. I call it underwater temple here. The undersea temple to drop off Krim and company. And we check on the Lin events. The Lin events that occurred on Elderath 3 are the same events that occurred here. So eerily so the same, right? The grounds here in the temple have got guards going. They're pretty much self-sufficient here. They don't need any outside assistance. We go back to Hamlet. Now, Raymond's job is to identify what or who is organizing the forces in the region. Watch out for banditry along the eastern tributary mountains. The thought is that it's centered around the swamp. We kind of know it's not. There was an abbot the abbot from Hamlet was sent to the moat house to investigate what was going on. Identify and excise Eastern Kingdom activities was kind of the words used. And a long-term thing is to reacquire the moat house. We kind of remember when we went through the mountains and stuff, where we found the wagon with the Minok money in it and the girl that went missing and the Dwarven outpost. So that's the kind of stuff we're thinking, okay, this stuff we know what's going on here. So we're going to go check out the Dwarven outpost. So we gather up gear, we head south to the bridge, and we camp on the other side. Now, this bridge has a sign that says, warning, bridge of monster summoning. In a previous campaign, every time the players crossed this bridge, they'd have a random wilderness encounter, and so they made that sign. It's been knocked over and broken at this point. But that night, first watch, we have 2 watches. First watch, Runt hears a sound like the demons that came through the tower gate to attack us and to try and take his teeth, right? So he yells, he runs around, he's kicking everyone to wake them up, and he begins throwing daggers into the dark. He ends up fumbling and falling down, though. 19 melee rounds later, with a couple of lightning bolts and some dagger attacks, and some negatives. What were the negatives? Not sure, but we ended up finally finishing off the 6 demons that were there. Whew. That was a tough tough fight. Wes went down. Oh, that's what the negatives were. Wes went down a number of times, losing use of his leg, abdomen, because he just got up. He didn't have any armor on, right? In fact, he went negative total hit points twice. Man, it was a nasty, nasty fight. Happy gaming.